Good morning and welcome to FCAN's case study on Tech Express to Valencia College. I am Charlita Richardson, the Executive Director of the Florida College Access Network, and we're so happy to have you here with us today. In addition to hearing from FCAN about the key findings from our case study today, I'm honored to be joined by a distinguished panel who will help tell you more about the Tech Express to Valencia College and what this promising model means for Florida and our students. In a few minutes, we will move into conversation with Dr. Nasir Hidayat, Assistant Vice President for Career and Workforce Education at Valencia College, Melanie Stefanowitz, Associate Superintendent for Career and Technical Education at Orange County Public Schools, Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith, member of the House of Representatives serving the District 49, which includes Orange County, and Nick Zine, a Tech Express student who is currently using his education and training at Disney. Before we get started with today's presentation, just want to share a few housekeeping items with you. First, we welcome your questions. This is about all of us learning together, so please submit your questions in the box that you'll see to the right side of your screen if you're viewing from a desktop. We will have time at the end of today's call for the panelists to answer questions, but feel free to submit them anytime throughout the presentation, and I encourage you to actually do so. Second, please share what you're learning on your favorite social media platform. We love to hear what's resonating with you, so be sure to hashtag FCAN or hashtag Talent Strong Florida. And finally, this briefing is being recorded and all materials will be available within a week of the recording. Many of you have attended an FCAN presentation or webinar in the past, so we welcome you back and we're glad that you're joining us today. We have also several new people joining us, so I want to take a moment to share a little bit about FCAN. Our mission is to lead the collaborative movement to ensure every Floridian achieves an education beyond high school and a rewarding career. And we do that through three primary bodies of work. The first is through research and data. We publish research and data on evidence based practices and policy opportunity to strengthen Florida's talent pool. Second, we support local college access networks, or LCANs, across the state, which are cross-sector coalitions of leaders that collaborate to remove barriers and provide more support for student success. And lastly, we coordinate 4 college-ready initiatives that provide schools and community organizations the free resources to help students continue their education after high school. All of these bodies of work are led to our 7 conditions of success that the Florida College Access Network, the local college access networks, and community partners from across the state helped identify. These 7 conditions help to guide our policies and programs and set the stage for building a strong and recession proof workforce for future generations. You see the 7 conditions posted on the screen, and I also encourage you to visit our website to learn more about each of these conditions. So, as we go forward, we want to talk about a little bit about Talent Strong Florida as it sets the stage for our panel discussion today. It's important to share why it is critical for Florida to have a strong academic career pathways like those in Tech Express. This fall, FCAN launched Talent Strong Florida, a campaign that complements Florida's Sell to 60 goal to strengthen Florida's workforce and ensure that the state is ready for the economy of the future. The state goal is to increase the percentage of Floridians ages 25 to 64 with a high value post secondary certificate, degree, or training experience to 60% by the year 2030. While there are many pathways to career success, all involve education and training after high school, which boosts lifelong earnings, ultimately putting more money into Floridians' pockets and Florida's economy. So, what does it mean to be talent strong? It means preparing our future workforce with the skills and education necessary to remain competitive in a global economy. It means ensuring prosperity for Florida families and our state in good times and bad. And it means building a more resilient economy that can recover in inevitable disruptions like COVID 19. In May, FCAN surveyed 1,500 Florida voters to better understand how the pandemic was impacting them and their families. What we learned was that while 58% of Floridians said that they experienced job loss, pay cuts, or reduction in hours due to COVID 19, But we learned also that the hardest hit economically were Floridians with the least amount of education. We also learned, if we learned anything else from the Great Recession, is that education fosters economic resiliency. American adults with a bachelor's degree or higher as a group enjoyed the strongest recovery from joblessness after the Great Recession, whereas those with the lower levels of education still haven't recovered. Additionally, 99% of the jobs created nationwide after the Great Recession went to people with at least some education beyond high school. The bottom line, the more education you have, the more likely you are to remain employed during economic times of hardship. So, is college for everyone? Although some people still believe that college isn't for everyone, the reality is that an education beyond high school in one form or another is essential for economic stability. 2 out of 3 new jobs will require an education beyond high school by the year 2025. And even in the middle of a pandemic, almost 90% of Floridians believe that a college degree or credential beyond high school is important for the average Floridian to be successful in today's workforce. A critical aspect of making Florida talent strong is ensuring that individuals have the information and guidance to plan for their futures. Just 20% of Floridians believe that high schools are provided with the adequate resources to make informed decisions about information and options after high school. And 2 in 5 see that a lack of access to career and education planning guidance as a barrier for students being able to make informed decisions post high school options. So, knowledge really is the power. Now that we've actually talked a little bit about the importance of Talent Strong Florida, let's see where we are as a state. Currently, 52.7% of working age Floridians hold a degree or workforce relevant short term credential. Over the past 5 years, we have continued to see a positive trend toward our Sell to 60 goal. As our state continues to move towards our Sell to 60 goal, career and technical education, or CTE, can be an affordable way for Floridians to earn high quality, in demand certifications. Florida already has a nationally recognized 2+2 transfer pathway in place, allowing students to transition seamlessly from state college to a state university and transfer 60 credits earned as part of their AA degree towards a 4-year degree. If we bring in non credit credentials into this equation, we can create a pathway for technical students to move into community college and take their hard earned credits with them and get them one step closer to earning a 2-year degree. So, what's stopping students all over the state and the country from already doing this? Although many schools virtually publish their articulation agreements or policies that map courses from one institution to another, often students struggle to navigate the complex process of transferring between schools. Additionally, technical schools and community colleges generally serve non traditional students, including low income, first generation, the adult learner, veterans, and the minority populations. This process may be particularly challenging for a student who already believes that they are not college material, and they may struggle to put together all of the pieces in the transfer process. Fortunately, Florida has a great guide model of a guided pathway from technical school to community college. Tech Express, a collaboration between Orange Technical College, Osceola Technical College, and Valencia College, places Valencia advisors on technical school campuses to guide students in the transfer process. Their primary role is to make it easier for technical college students to transition to Valencia with earned college credit. Before Tech Express was implemented in 2016, about only 10 college students articulated credits to Valencia annually, just 10. Since it's been put in place, nearly 1,000 Tech Express students have enrolled in Valencia programs. FCAN is excited to be with you today to share our case study on Tech Express and the partnership. Just released this morning, you can find a copy of the report in the handout section of the webinar side panel. In our research, we uncovered 3 main findings. First, Tech Express offers an innovative model in Florida where students can seamlessly move from technical school to community college while earning stackable credentials aligned to workforce needs. Tech Express programs work in partnership with local industry in cutting edge fields such as cybersecurity and mechatronics and preparing Florida students for the jobs of tomorrow. Second, from our research, it is clear that collaboration is a win win for all partner institutions. The institutions typically are in friendly rivalry for students, but they found a way to work together to meet the needs of the students and the community, and that ultimately benefits all partners. And finally, a key component to the success of Tech Express is the physical placement of advisors. Because Valencia advisors are placed on technical school campuses, they're able to reach any technical student interested in furthering their education. Advisors work to ease any complication that comes up in the transfer process, and their accessibility ensures technical students know how many credits they've already earned if they decide they want to continue to Valencia. Building a resilient Florida economy after disruptions like COVID-19 requires strengthening our workforce and closing opportunity gaps for education and training so that Florida workers can nimbly adapt and thrive despite a changing landscape. Tech Express is a model for that sort of innovative programming that can result when institutions and industries work together to create education pathways to high demand fields. Partnerships like Tech Express are an important mechanism for increasing post secondary access and attainment, closing equity and opportunity gaps, and developing a highly skilled, educated workforce. At this point, I think you've all heard enough of me talking, so I want to turn to the experts. And we'd like to ask our panelists to actually share their webcams so that we can begin our discussion. All right. I would like to start by asking each of you to introduce yourself and share why you think Tech Express is an important program. Melanie, could you start us off?
Sure thing. Good morning, everyone. My name is Melanie Stefanowicz. I'm the Associate Superintendent for Career and Technical Education for Orange County Public Schools. I recently moved into this position from Osceola County Schools, where I worked with Dr. Hediat as well. So for those of you on the call who know that I'm new to my position, please know that I worked in this capacity in Central Florida as well. And I'd like to give a special shout out, if I can, to my friends in the Florida Keys who have joined us today as well. So this partnership is important because for many years we've always kind of felt like I can either go to a vocational school or a technical college, or I can go to a state college or a university. But this really shows that that's actually not the case. You can come to my technical college, you can get the foundational applied skills, you can master the competencies, and look, I know my students need to go to work. So they can go to work. They can also at the same time begin to explore the articulated pathways into Valencia College so that they can expand their careers into the future. So what this agreement does and what the work that we do together does is provide a seamless transition for our students from my educational institution to work and to further their education as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Melanie. It's so important to hear about that seamless transition, and so I'm sure we'll learn a little bit more. Representative Smith, let's move to you next. Ooh. Representative Smith, we have to unmute you for it.
This before. I think you can hear me now.
Go. Yes.
So good morning, everyone, and thank you so much to FCAN for inviting me to this really important conversation. So my name is Carlos Guillermo Smith, and I'm a member of the Florida House of Representatives. I represent East Orlando in the Florida House. That's District 49, which actually includes so many great institutions of higher education. It includes the main campus of UCF, the Valencia East campus as well, which is certainly a big topic for conversation today. Also Berry College of Law, Full Sail University, and Polytechnic of Puerto Rico. So we know that higher education is really, really important to our constituents. And in the past, I've served in all the higher education committees in the House, and I understand how important having programs that really lift up stackable credentials really, really are. You know, we've seen tremendous success in the 2+2 articulation programs, using Valencia College and UCF as an example. And while those programs are, certainly different institutions being involved and different levels of degree, the way that students were able to benefit from the 2+2 articulation from, for example, Valencia College to UCF, it really saved them time, and it saved them money on reaching their career goals, reaching their degree goals. And in a similar way, this program, the Tech Express program that we're all so proud of, between the Orange Technical College and Valencia, is very similar in that students can save money, they can save time, they can, through the help of so many of the advisors that are part of the program, really get where they want to be career-wise, which is also money-making wise, because you can get your vocational certification, your career certification, and be able to get a really, really good paying job really, really fast through these great programs. So I think the saving of time and money is definitely a universal value that everyone appreciates, but that's really what what really stands out to me about Tech Express, and that's why I'm a huge advocate for this program.
Awesome. Thank you, Representative Smith. And I will agree, saving time and money is universal. Nick, we're going to head to you next.
Okay, so my name is Nick Zine. I'm a student at Valencia College with the Energy Management and Control Technology program. I'm an HVAC technician at Disney. I went through a 4-year apprenticeship, and I guess Tech Express comes in, where I got an email after I finished my apprenticeship program. And at first I thought it was spam. I was about to delete it, and I was like, well, maybe I'll take a bite and see what this is from. It's from Linda Bliss. She's with, I think, Mid-Florida Tech and Valencia, and because it said something about I can take my apprenticeship credits and apply them towards a college degree, and I've never considered myself someone that would go to college or any kind of academic person. And but since I had finished that 4-year degree, I got my trade, and it's a decent job. That was a really big success in my life, and that was pretty cool. But like, that's not where I want to stop. I'm not going to just be satisfied with that. I was like, well, what's the next step? I've done this accomplishment. I would like to do something more. And Disney likes to promote people who have degrees. So right now I'm an hourly wage person, but if you want to move into salary and more leadership roles, having that degree is that kind of gives you that opportunity, opens doors for promotion. And it's pretty much, if it wasn't for that email, I don't know what I'd be doing. I was looking for something, and that was kind of like the perfect opportunity. It was like me looking, and there it was. And so I jumped in on that degree program, and I chose the energy management program because it's kind of related to my HVAC field. And it's been a really great experience. I didn't even know what to expect coming to college, and especially coming in a little later, because I'm now currently 40, and a lot of the students are like 20, so they're like half my age. And it's a strange, to be, I guess, at my age, going to college and starting from the bottom, but being able to apply those extra credits kind of got me closer to those 60 credits that I'm working for, and I'll be finishing in the summer. And so that was kind of like that deciding factor. It's like, okay, so kind of the work I put in, I can build on, and it puts me closer to getting that degree. And now that I've almost finished my 2-year degree, I'm actually looking at the next step. And I'm talking with actually I have a Disney advisor with my, they have a Disney Aspire program that helps pay for your degree. And we're looking at programs that I might be interested in and turn this 2-year degree into a 4-year degree. And it's something I would have never thought of a few years ago. It was something I might do. So this program actually kind of opened that door for me. That's kind of what you guys are talking about. I guess I would be the target audience that this program is designed for. So I don't know if that answers your questions or gives you a good description.
It definitely does, Nick, and thank you for sharing a little bit about your story, and I'm sure you'll share a little bit more as well as we go through. But hearing that is really that's impactful and powerful. It's really about how do you build those credentials. Dr. Hidayat, if you want to introduce yourself to us and share.
Thank you so much. Good morning, and thank you for having me. I'm Nasser Hedayat, Assistant Vice President for Career and Workforce Education at Valencia College. My division functional responsibility includes the Office of Internship and Workforce Services, the Office of Career Pathways, including the Tech Express program, articulation in career technical education, management of Perkins Grant, planning and leading the college annual career and technical education program reviews, and researching the need and planning for the expansion of Valencia's current CTE programs, as well as development of any new programs. I'm also the current co-chair of the Council of Workforce Education for Florida colleges. Why Tech Express is so important, my colleague mentioned that, and Representative Smith mentioned that, Nick mentioned that. The most important one, Tech Express is very important for many, many reasons. It demonstrates the depth and the strength of our partnership, our commitment to each other, and most importantly, our commitment to our students, like Nick, and our community. It presents to students a seamless pathway for deepening their knowledge, skills, and careers by offering them the opportunity to transfer their credentials to Valencia to receive the maximum possible credit towards one of our workforce programs. And as Representative Smith said, this partnership also reduces the time to degree completion, as well as huge tuition cost saving for our students.
Awesome. Awesome. And Dr. Hedayat, you shared a lot of the opportunities that really and the benefits to Tech Express. Can you tell us a little bit about how it actually came together? I know that you were kind of one of the architects behind it and moving it along. So give us that story, that background for those who want to actually venture into that space of trying to develop some type of partnership in this capacity.
Absolutely, and that's such a great question. My colleague and good friend, Dr. Michael Armbruster, who is the mastermind behind it, like I mentioned, and myself, we used to have a monthly breakfast meeting. Of course, Dr. Armbruster now is retired from Orange County Public Schools. During our breakfast meeting, we used to talk about how can we expand our partnership. And we were always updating each other on the latest news on the workforce education, not only nationally, statewide, also locally, what's going on at our local level. Our focus always was building the strongest and the most integrated education ecosystem to better serve our community. So we focus on creating educational pathway opportunities for students to better prepare them for today and future high-skill, high-wage, and in-demand jobs. With that in mind, at one of our meetings, I believe it was late in 2015, we said, what if we had a program similar to Direct Connect to UCF model, where the student could seamlessly transfer to Valencia to continue their education once they complete their program at the technical college. And we also talk about how could it work and what the impact would be. Well, the timing was perfect at that time because at that time, the Orange County Public School was considering to change their name from Tech Centers to Orange Technical College. So we explored this new idea with our program people and with our leadership. I'm very happy to say that the leadership embraced the idea, which resulted in drafting a joint resolution called Tech Express to Valencia. The joint resolution was signed in 2016, and of course, a joint work team was formed to lead the work and carry out what needs to be done. Now, you asked the question, what problem we were trying to solve and to address. As mentioned earlier, our goal always was to create as many opportunities for students as possible. Through this partnership, first, we wanted to recognize the student work and their accomplishment by making sure that the students were not enrolling in courses at Valencia with similar learning outcomes. And as the one completed at the technical college, we accomplished this goal by connecting the faculty from both institutions working together reviewing the program content, the curriculum frameworks during the articulation process. And as I mentioned earlier in my opening, we believe having Valencia advisor, and you mentioned that, that having the Valencia advisor physically placed at the technical college campuses, they're very important to the success of this program. Valencia hired 3 very talented coaches, and they were placed at the technical college campuses. Technical college administrators welcome Valencia's coaches to the campuses, having them to attend their meetings. The faculty welcome coaches to their classes to directly talk to students about the articulation and the award of the credit. Coaches were also assisting students with Valencia admission process, how to complete Valencia application, and also connecting students with as many Valencia services as possible, such as financial aid, that is very important to our students. Just to demonstrate the success of this program, and I believe you mentioned some of the numbers. Before Tech Express, each year we had just a very small number of technical college students that were coming to Valencia. In the first year, in 2017, the number grew to 129 students. And the recent data shows an enrollment of about 1,032 students enrolled at Valencia. And also it's very important to recognize that 86 associate degree completers. And currently, we also have 19 students are enrolled in Valencia's Bachelor of Science in Business and Organizational Leadership. So if I may take just a moment to give a special thanks to individuals without whom the success would have not been possible. The technical college leadership, administrators, faculty and advisors, as well as Valencia leadership, our career pathway team, especially the Tech Express coaches, for their passion and commitment for students.
Nice. You know, Dr. Diet, I hear your passion for it, and I want to just make sure we capture, you know, the overall, there was the idea that came about, you all utilized that data to then form and come up with a common goal, and you had leadership support. So we commend you all for moving forward and taking this ideal to the next step and actually to fruition and the success from that. My next question is actually for Representative Smith. You know, during your time in the legislature, you have served as a champion for Florida students, and we say thank you for that. And you've been ensuring that they can access the education that they need and the tools and supports to succeed. The model displayed at Tech Express shows that stackable credentials are an increasingly promising path to help Florida close the attainment gap and help students navigate both education and work. What role do you think Tech Express and stackable credentials play in our state's future and for our students as a whole?
Well, it plays a huge role, certainly, and the legislature shares FCAN's attainment goal. I know that you announced some pretty awesome numbers at the beginning, Charlita. You mentioned that we're at about 52% attainment right now, and the goal certainly is to sail to 60. So we share that with you, but we don't make that goal. We don't get anywhere close without programs like Tech Express. You know, you've got educational opportunities, you know, certainly from the perspective of the Florida legislature. You know, this is one of our top concerns, making sure that we have a skilled workforce that helps match to match the needs out there of some of the industry's largest employers. We want to ensure that folks have access and equitable and affordable education, you know, certainly while preparing them for today's job market. So up to this point, I think it's just been difficult for students to experience equitable educational opportunities necessary to meet their goals. But with programs like Tech Express, all of that, you know, changed. You know, we see the increasing prevalence now of these stackable credentials programs. They allow for, you know, certainly folks to be able to get even higher credentials a lot faster. It helps them move up the career ladder much quicker, gets them to higher paying jobs. And we know that Tech Express obviously combines all of the best parts of this, with the stackable credentials part, with the affordability, with the efficiency, and you can get where you want to go faster. And so, I think that what is happening here is certainly monumental for the Central Florida area, but, is really serving as an inspiration for other parts of the state as well. We're really doing it here in Central Florida. It started with 2+2, the partnership between Valencia and UCF being the model. And now, I think it's pretty safe to say and easy to say, because it's the truth, that Tech Express is the model for the rest of the state as it relates to helping have a successful stackable credential programs that partner our local technical colleges with our state colleges. And I just want to point out one other dynamic, the other dynamic being with so many obstacles that people face for a number of reasons to attaining their career certification, to attaining their vocational certification or their associate degree or their 4-year degree if they go that far, family, kids, other jobs, things, life gets in the way sometimes with attainment. This last year, COVID got in the way of many people being able to stay on track, so to speak. And I think that the way that Tech Express has been modeled is that, while we certainly want to incentivize students to complete their certification, to continue taking more courses, to use those stackable credentials to get to a higher level, we also know that sometimes, they have to put that on pause for whatever reason. So this program, really allows for them to stop and start where they left off and not feel like they have to start all over again. And I think that that's really important. But we do want to incentivize, students to be able to continue. Just to give you an example, there's legislation that I'm proud to be co-introducing this year, and it basically would create a new scholarship program in the legislature. This is a bill that we call the Florida Sunshine Scholarship, and it's a brand new scholarship that would basically pay for 100% of tuition and fees for folks who are pursuing AA degrees and career certificates from certain institutions around the state, as long as they meet really reasonable GPA standards, and that it's a needs-based scholarship as well. So we're making sure that we're covering those folks who really need a hand up to be able to also afford the career certification and technical certifications that they're seeking. So that's another conversation as far as incentivizing students to keep going with those stackable credentials and keep achieving what they're moving towards achieving. But I know that this is a wonderful model for the rest of the state.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Representative Smith. And I can tell you, I was watching the rest of the panelists and saw quite a few head nods there, especially when we were talking about the equitable access and the affordability piece, which, as I shared in the beginning, is really linked to part of the 7 conditions that FCAN is focused on as well. Melanie, I'm going to come to you next. Can you tell us a little bit about how Tech Express works and works with and actually supports the local industry in Central Florida?
So, we rely, Nasser and I both, on advisory councils to advise and inform our work and to advise and inform our partnership. We know that at the end of this educational journey, there has to be a career waiting for our students. Even as you've indicated in the data you're opening, along the way, people need to be working. And so we work with our industry partners to determine which credentials are most valued, which skills are required, which skills are preferred, and we make sure that the curriculum that we use, the credentials that we provide our students opportunities to take, are relevant and meaningful in Central Florida. because at the end, people need to go to work. So our advisory boards inform the type of programs that we offer, right down to the competencies that we ensure that our students master prior to graduation. They inform the type of programs that we offer to make sure that we're offering what's required locally, because the last thing that I want is a student to graduate from my program, and I know Nassar doesn't want to matriculate them if at the end of it, we can't help them get work. Because that, at the end of the day, that's really why they're coming to us. So we work with our advisory in partnership to determine that we're doing everything that we need to be doing to ensure that our students are prepared to be competitive in the marketplace. So, you know, for us, they inform every aspect of our partnership from inception to our students' graduation. Without that, without their support, it's likely that our students would have a struggle finding work. And so we rely on those partnerships.
That's awesome, and it's great to hear about that collaborative movement of all the advisory board members adding to this conversation and really helping to set the pathway. Um, Nick, you know, we're definitely excited to have you with us today because it's important for us to hear directly from the students, especially, you know, we know that this is one of your rare days off and you are spending it with us this morning. So we appreciate that. From your perspective, one of the things that make Tech Express, or from our perspective, I should say, that makes Tech Express special is that the student is at the center. And I know you spoke a little bit about that during your opening and introduction, but, you know, can you give us a little bit more about how did you get involved in the program? And, you know, I know you said you're going through the journey of wanting to continue, but how has it further helped you along the way and the supports that you've seen in that process?
Okay. Yeah. So you're asking where I got involved. Was that from that email? And it said that I can get the college credits from my 4-year apprenticeship. And then I don't know. It's been like a really kind of, I don't know. It's a whole life journey. Like I don't even know how to put it into words. I'm kind of nervous because I'm in front of a bunch of people. I'm just a student. Like, who am I? But I guess that's who you want to hear from. I know that when I go to work and I talk to other guys who've gone through the apprenticeship or apprentices who are still going through the apprenticeship, I tell the apprentices, when you graduate, you need to take this apprenticeship and apply it towards Valencia, pick a degree and go with it. Like right now, there's two. There's the energy management control technology, and then there's a business degree. And I think I got 12 credits towards the EMCT program, and I think there's 26 credits towards the other one. I almost picked the other one, but I found the technology one more interesting. So because I think right now I'd be finished already if I had picked the other one with 26 credits, because almost halfway there. But I still want to find something that's interesting and stimulating, and that's why I chose the energy management one. But the whole experience just going to college has been like opening up my mind, learning how to write essays. I barely wrote a paragraph in the last 20 years until I went into my first class and had to start writing 1,000-word essays, and that was like incredibly intimidating. And but I got through it and took a lot of discipline. It still takes discipline. There was a point where I was working at UCF as an intern while doing my classes, while trying to be a family man, because I have 2 stepdaughters and a wife, and trying to balance all that and my health and fitness. And so it's been a challenge, but it's like I just do like little milestones, like get through this semester, you know, try to keep my GPA up, you know, and so I don't know if I'm answering your question the way you would like me to, but I go to work and I just advertise this program. Like there's 3 guys already that have got into the same degree program that I'm in. One guy chose the business one, and so they're already working on it. Then there's another guy I work with right now, and he's in the process of transferring his credits. I think because he was a journeyman when I was an apprentice, and now it's funny because I'm a journeyman working alongside with him, and I've like through conversations at work and, you know, hanging out after work at the bar, like, you know, eating wings and stuff, like encouraging him to like, hey, why don't you take on you know, do this program? It's awesome. And like he has kids and a wife and a lot of responsibility. And I told him, like, for me, I've decided that 2 classes per semester is a good way to do it. Each person takes on, like one guy, he took on 6 classes. I'm like, wow, that's more power to you. I can't, you know, everybody has their own path, but it's like, it's such a great program. It gets me really excited. I just don't know how to on this board here to explain, like, it's been transformative to my life, like just learning subjects that I never even dove into in my ethics class, in my government class, and finding subjects that are exciting and interesting that I never even thought about before I was introduced to that class. And I think at this point I need to work on my public speaking and confidence, because it's like this experience right here, I feel very honored and humbled that they would choose me to speak for this program, because I mean, it's changing my life. It's just like I said, it opened that door. Like I was looking for something and I found it in this program, and it's helping, you know, take me to the next level, my next step in my life. I don't know if
Yeah, Nick, you
that's good.
answered that perfectly, and I would tell
Okay.
you we are excited that you have chosen to be with us. So because you are advocating for that program, as you were sharing in that story just now, telling others about it. So we appreciate that, and that's what this is all about. It's about making sure that everyone is educated and informed on opportunities. So you're the perfect example for this. Before
Thanks.
we go into the questions from the audience, I have one last question for everyone. And we know that many education stakeholders are on this call, might be interested in supporting partnerships like Tech Express in their own locality. What should other regions interested in Tech Express, like a program like this, should know? Melanie?
Yes, so I'm going to speak a little bit outside of the box, if that's okay, because as I said when I introduced myself, I know I have some friends from the Florida Keys on the call. And so you have, and I'm sure some other communities are on the call who may not necessarily have a technical college. And so how can we innovate this and think outside the box to serve our adult education programs, which they do have, and their high school students as they're moving through their career pathways in their schools and looking towards graduation and their next steps. And so I would challenge them to think outside the box, review the opportunities you have for articulation with your students in your high school level. Where can you do integrated education and training opportunities for your adult ed students? How can you articulate those programs? And then call on the local community college to have their advisors come in and make the students aware of what the opportunities are available to them and how to take advantage of the articulated pathways. So just because you don't necessarily have a technical college in your region, how can you better partner with your community college agency to the benefit of workforce development, to the benefit of your students? So to just think innovatively and how can you adapt and model it, and don't just think, well, we can't do it because we don't have a tech college. You have CTE programs that articulate quite the same way. And so how can you adapt and model the program to benefit everyone?
Awesome. Thank you. So just think outside of the box and think about different ways. Representative Smith, any thoughts from your perspective on what they should know if they want to do something like this in their region?
Well, we already know that this is certainly going to help the region hit their attainment goals, as it has for us here in Central Florida. But look, I mean, this is a great way to get employers, the big industry leaders in your region, depending on what part of Florida that you're in, to be able to, you know, create so many, to have a more skilled workforce, to have all of these courses, credentials, stackable credentials that are going hand in hand with what the employers are looking for. You know, sometimes it's complicated to get that done without having one of these really important partnerships and programs in the area. So for those who are considering having something like this, you know, talk to your industry leaders, talk to your employers, because, you know, they are clamoring for opportunities like what we have here in Central Florida for sure. And there's one other shout out I want to give, which is kind of a side note, and I failed to mention it before. When Dr. Hedayat mentioned Michael Armbruster, I couldn't help but just wanting to say thank you to Mr. Armbruster, because his leadership has just been incredible over the years. You know, we congratulate him certainly on his retirement, which was well deserved. And, you know, we wouldn't be in the position that this program is in without his leadership. So if he's watching, thank you. And hi, how you doing?
Awesome. Thank you, Representative Smith. Nick, back to you as a student who's actually navigated the program, been successful in your career. And I know, you shared a little bit about how it just started with an email. But what would you tell Regents? How can they get to students beyond just the email, or how do they motivate the students to get involved or get connected? What do you think about that?
For me, maybe word of mouth is one thing that works for us. I don't know, like if you're saying like advertising or how you reach them, but like in our workplace, everybody that has a company email probably got the email, but a lot of people didn't see it. So as we talk to each other, but I don't know as far as how they would get to us, maybe going to the employer, maybe the employer reaching out to their workers, like because we used to, our breakout meetings are a little different now after the certain changes. We have a because we used to have breakout meetings in the morning. Now we have less, but maybe if there's some kind of information session, because I mean, I'm sure the leaders would in the company would benefit from their employees getting better education. So I don't know if there was some kind of communication with employers themselves and kind of trickle it down into the different branches and the different departments, and kind of maybe because we'll have like a topic like today we're talking about safety with here, or we're talking about whatever, have like little meetings, get-togethers, when you start your day, and maybe put that. I don't know if we would talk to the employer, maybe how the if that would make sense, if that would be able to get the reach in there. Otherwise, I'm not sure how you'd reach those people other than word of mouth, like I do, or conversations at work. I don't know if that answers the question properly.
It does, and I think that that's critical, just to think about reaching out to employers and really making sure that they're informing their employees about the type of opportunities as well. So thank you. And Dr. Hidayat, anything you would like to add to that, or?
Well, Nick said it so elegantly. I mean, and we know it works, and it can be successful, and Nick is a good example of it. For the program to succeed, the first thing is for both institutions to build trust in each other. It has to be two-way partnership, working together, engaging with our local business and industry leaders. We serve the same community, so you've got to work together. And most importantly, we must have the support from our leadership. And this is a good example that when they all come together, the outcome is huge.
That's right. That's right. That's so powerful. It is about coming together. So I'm looking on the chat box really quick to see if we have any questions. We just had a few comments to come through that the FCAN team has addressed. And one comment did point out just, if you don't have a community college, a technical college, just being able to create agreements from secondary to post-secondary opportunities. So we thank you for sharing those comments. If being that I don't see any additional questions, I just want to take an opportunity to thank each of our panelists for joining us today. You all have shared some great nuggets of information, and we appreciate you for that. To all of you in attendance, we hope you've enjoyed your time that you spent with us in this past hour, and that we encourage you to read through our report again that's posted on the side in the handout section. We also encourage you to go visit our website at floridacollegeaccess.org or our Talent Strong site at talentstrongflorida.org. And we, again, don't forget to hashtag us on social media, hashtag FCAN or hashtag Talent Strong Florida. We wish you all the best, and we thank you for all that you have shared, and we hope you have a great, great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.